Sure that you are successful in getting your French visa. Let's go.
Hey, awesome. You already introduced yourself.
Oh, sorry. I'm Daniel Riley. I'm the manager of the GW study programs, and we are delighted to have you here today.
Great. And I am Tanya. I am the administrative assistant here at the Office for Study Abroad. I am also one of the advisors helping you with your visa process for the spring. So, like Daniel mentioned, we're going to go over the application overview, the documents that you need to gather, any websites or links that you should be aware and use through this process, as well as some costs about the visa fee. And if you have any questions, you can always answer them at the end, or if it's something like pressing, you can stop and answer them. But for the most part, towards the end. For those online, if you can please direct your questions to Kim Rush. At the moment, I cannot look at my chat, so make sure you have all your questions to Kim, and she will follow up. So, thank you. Okay. So, overview. As I mentioned, for your French visa, you will be utilizing 3 different websites. Throughout the process. The first one is Campus France, which is like the French government agency. They're going to be the ones kind of reviewing the first part of your application. Then we have to your very far right, France Visa. That is the second part. So that is a website you're going to be uploading most of your documents, like your financial means, any kind of scans of passport, etc. So that'll be your French national visa application form. And then in the middle, you have the middleman. They are TLS Contact. That is the third party who works with the French government to kind of accept the applications, and they do a final review and they submit it to the French government for the last review. So we will be helping you kind of navigate throughout the process with these websites. Again, just a general overview. The first step, completing your Campus France application, submitting it, paying it. You have to remember to pay it. The review process doesn't start until you pay it, and the review can be up to 3 weeks if everything goes well, maybe sooner. And there's the option we'll go over later to pay extra money to get it reviewed even quicker than that, but that's it. The Campus France will review, and then they will issue you like a certificate saying that it has been reviewed, it has been processed, and you're okay to proceed with the next step. You received your confirmation email, print all of that. Your application has been processed. And skip. Oops. Sorry, it's a long schedule visa appointment. So TLS, you're going to set up an appointment with them to submit it, and hopefully you'll be then traveling to France. I know I quickly went through this.
I know it's hard to see all of this. We're going to share these slides with you in a folder where you're going to be able to access all of this and be able to see it more clearly.
Yes. Again, this is just a general checklist of what you need to have for your application. We will go over in detail. Again, you'll be submitting it through France Visa, but you also need to have the hard copies of the documents we mentioned. So have that in mind. Okay, the first is Campus France. Would you like to?
Sure, yeah. So even from the very beginning of this, you may be picking up on the fact that you have to do things a couple of times in a couple of different platforms. Campus France is a pre-registration and pre-approval from the French government to then be allowed to apply for a visa. Campus France is not the most user-friendly system that you will run across, and it's also not the most modern. Even when it was created about 10 years ago, the process was a little clunky, and it hasn't been greatly updated. So there are a few obstacles that you'll run into along the way, and we'll help you navigate those. So I invite anyone who wants to follow along at home to go to Campus France USA. This is the URL, usacampusfrance.org, and you can click on Études en France.
I don't know French, so
That's
I'm
fine.
moving
So
it
if
to
you're
English.
speaking in French, you will click on sign up, which is Je m'inscris, or you can interpret English. If your web browser is automatically translating the French into English, it may look a little bit different from the French translation.
I already have my login, so I'm just gonna log in.
Once you create your login, they will email you a link, and then that will circle you back to this page where you will sign in.
I have to verify it again. Sorry, I thought I did this, but you know, you never know with Campus France.
Words solidify, I will say. There are a number of places in Campus France where you're going to have to upload documents, whether that be like a photo of yourself or a scan of your passport or some other document. And the sizes of the documents they're requesting are going to seem impossibly small. Like a photo that's like 25 kilobytes. Okay, so the actual document is super, super tiny. So you'll often find yourself having to resize until you get to the actual like parameters that they need. This can be exceptionally frustrating, but it is a good introduction to French bureaucracy and what it is like to work within French code.
Okay, we're in.
Great. Okay, so when you are looking at this process, you will be very tempted to click on students not yet accepted because in most or all of your cases you have not received an acceptance from your study abroad program. This is not correct. This is not where you should apply. It's already confusing. You need to apply on students already accepted. Students not accepted are people who are getting ready to apply for a degree in France and are going to be applying directly to a French university. So, let's see. Step one. I am a study abroad dual exchange student. That is you. And then you will fill out all of this information about GW. There's a big drop down. DC is both listed as a state and then a city within the state. Can you do the city drop down? Because it's wild. All right, these are all things that can be listed as a place that you live in Washington. I'm particularly fond of the Air Force Base and other. But these are the possibilities that are out there. Select Washington.
Okay, Washington.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then GW is listed as one of the drop-downs. It's pretty easy to find. Okay, and then for your host university in France, you will select where it is that you will be studying, whether that is Sciences Po or whoever the host university is of your program. And that is information that you will get specifically from your study abroad provider. They will tell you which institution to put in here.
Your Dauphine.
Yeah, Dauphine is under Université de Paris, or Dauphine PSL, I think.
Oh.
Anyway. Let's see. And if you're having trouble, you can also use the search function, but you should not count on that to be particularly.
Not math.
Yeah, it's actually in the, like, if you, that is, but yes, Université Paris Dauphine, so for Dauphine students. All right, for your study abroad exchange selection, you will notice that the, everything is in English, but this option is in French for no particular reason. Again, Campus France. All right, in this case, you would be doing the GW PSL exchange, and then a description of your program. This is 1,000 characters, which is practically nothing. I generally suggest that you just go to the OSA website and find whatever the description is of the program that you're applying to in Passport, and copy the first paragraph and paste it here. that is enough of a general overview to satisfy this requirement. Your field of study is whatever your subject area is. If you do not see your specific major, just go with whatever is closest. They honestly don't care that much. They want to just make sense to them. And then your level will be second year of higher education or third year of higher education. Don't worry, your start date of the program. This is information that you'll be able to get from your study abroad program. It's important to note that the date format is the European format, where you would do day, month, year instead of month, day, year, like we do in the US. If it's October 10th, that's easy, that lines up. But if it's October 16th, you have to do 16/10/2025. Okay, your personal motivation for studying in France. This can be whatever you submitted as a personal statement to apply for a study abroad, whether that's a private program or for Paris. If you did not require something like that, a brief, 2-paragraph explanation of why it is that you're planning to go to France works here. This is a relatively new requirement, but I think that the French government is just trying to track why people are coming. Okay, once you've done all those things, you can hit register. If there's something that is blank or if something is missing, you will get some kind of error. And occasionally it's not clear what that error is. It can very, very often look like you've done everything you were supposed to do and it's still come up with an error. In that case, that's when you come see me or you come see Tanya, and we will forensically scour through Campus France and help you track down whatever the problem is.
Okay. I'm just putting dummy dates.
Okay. But yeah, it is something that does happen at least 2 or 3 times a semester that a student will come to us and be like, I have done everything that this thing is asked of me, and it does not matter what I do, it will not let me submit the application. And often the thing that is missing is hidden in some subfolder that you would not expect, like this one. There's often some kind of pop-up that you then need to fill in or attach in supported documents. In any case, we will help you track it down. All right.
Yeah.
So once you have completed this first section, then they will want to know about your personal information. Okay. And this is things like your email address. They will ask for your études en France number, which ideally will automatically fill in, but if it does not, it is in the upper right-hand corner of your application. It always starts with a US and then has a code attached to it. Again, this is a very tiny personal or photo you need to upload. You will need to resize until you get to whatever the time is that they need. Okay, you'll also need to provide an identity document. Generally, this is your U.S. driver's license or state ID, and all of the attached documentation to go along with that. Your basic contact info, special status. This does not apply to you. There's, I think, an option that you can select. Something that says this does not apply to me. Other situation. My situation doesn't apply. Okay. They will ask for a resume. If you're applying to GW Paris, there is a requirement that you submit a resume as part of your application. And the only reason that that document requirement exists is because you know you're going to need it for the Campus France application. So we want to make sure you have one. And then cursus, this is your study. A year of higher education is what you're going to put in this space. Okay, and then they want information about GW. They will ask about your French language proficiency. This is squarely in the category of things that they are not going to check and they don't care that much about, but you will just estimate your best. You select no test because we don't do a government French language test as part of the GW education. And then they will ask for your level of French. where you will tell them in estimated hours, like how much you have studied in for how many years. You should guess that a semester of French is about 45 or 50 hours of French language instruction. If you were taking 4 semesters, and that's 200 hours, and that falls into the 100 to 500 hour window. If you've taken it since like you were a small child, then it might be longer, but again, it doesn't matter that much what you put here. They just want you to say something. Stays in France, another thing they do not care about. If you have traveled to France previously and there are stamps in your passport, your current passport that you're using for your application, in that case, please use those passport stamp dates and list the information that you went to France for 10 days when you were in high school. If that does not exist, and you went to France as a child with your parents and like that is not in documentation, leave this blank, they do not care. Or you can estimate. You can say, I was there in September for 5 days. But nobody is going to reject your application because of that. Level English, even if you are not a native speaker, if you're studying at GW, just list native speaker. And then once you have done all of that, and those things are actually complete, it will say complete in green like that. Then you will click submit my application, and that will take you to a place where you can make your payment. There are 2 options for how you pay. The first is a regular application, which I think is $270. And that is a 3-week payment process. So you submit that, you submit your payment. You have to do both. You have to hit the submit in here, and then you select regular service, $270. If you would like it to be expedited, if you are not, it's been hard to get documentation and it's taken a really long time to get your stuff in. Like, hopefully this won't be required, but occasionally students fall a little bit behind or get distracted and are not like really dialed in on their visa process and then realize they have to move quickly. There is a 3-day option, which is $460. That's a lot more money, so I would suggest avoiding that if at all possible. And that's Campus France. Generally, it takes those like 3 weeks or a little bit less for them to get an answer back to you. And once you have that, then you can go ahead and proceed with the rest of your visa application, which I'm just going to talk to you about now.
I know that was a lot of information. So on the screen, and then we will share it in the guide. There's a checklist of all the documents that you would be uploading into Campus France. So no worries, you will get this. France Visa. So this is the second website you're going to be using. You're going to create an account, complete it, complete the student visa application, and submit it. Afterwards, you're going to print the visa receipt saying that you submitted it and the PDF that's generated once you complete that. Let me show you the website.
Oh, a final note on Campus France: when your Campus France application has been processed and approved, you will get an email telling you this, but it will not come to your GW email or whatever email you used as part of the registration process. It will come to your Campus France inbox. So in the expected amount of time, whether that's like 2 or 3 weeks or 3 days, if you're doing it expedited, just log into Campus France and you'll be able to get that information there. And that's where the document that you'll download will also be located.
So again, you're going to register into France Visa. I already registered, so I just logged back in. And then you're going to create a new application in the group of applications. It's just going to ask you general information. Something to keep in mind, they are going to ask for your Campus France number somewhere in the application. But you can always find that at the US France one. I won't go through all, but we'll go through the documents you will be uploading in France Visa. So the first one, this is the application that's going to be generated once you complete France Visa or Step 2. So this is what it'll look like. At the end, just make sure you print that PDF because you will be submitting it to TLS. This is a France Visa receipt. I know it's kind of blurry. We got it from their website. It's just showing that it has been completed, and you need to bring this when you go to your TLS appointment. Okay, like all visas, you need a ID photograph, so a passport size photo. Make sure your face is clear, there's nothing blocking, and then try not to smile. A lot of visa processes require you not to be smiling, so just keep it neutral. Again, you need your passport. Make sure that it is valid at least, I know it says here 3 months, but to be safe, at least 6 months after the end of your program date. If it's going to expire before that or during your trip, renew it ASAP. Make sure you have some blank pages because they are going to require to affix the visa onto your passport. You'll take a photocopy. For those who are non-US citizens or international students, you would just require to submit some other additional documents like your F1, copy of your F1 or your visa status here in the US. Okay, so Campus France, like Daniel mentioned, you will be submitting, paying. It takes up to 3 weeks, maybe sooner if they're doing it quicker. But you are going to receive an email from them. Check your inbox in Campus France, even check your personal one just to be safe. And I know it's blurry, but it'll look something like that. Make sure you print that confirmation and just have it ready for your documents. This is the certificate generated by Campus France or EF Pastel. This is basically what you're waiting for to save and upload into France Visa. So that's kind of like the review that you're waiting to receive from. It'll either be called confirmation d'acceptation or accord, I don't know, French, préalable d'inscription.
It's the same. Description. Yeah. Yeah, one of the things that's really confusing about Campus France also is that it has 3 different names. Campus France is the software, I believe. Pastel is the system within the French government, and Études en France is like the overarching model or like I don't know, structure of it, and they're used completely interchangeably by the French government. You'll see documents that just say EEF or just say Pastel or just say Campus France. They are all the same thing. So just embrace the confusion. Yeah. And if you are confused, let us know.
Your proof of accommodation, again, students are required to show that they have housing, whether it's your program provides housing. Sometimes it's included in your acceptance letter, or they might give you a separate letter. Then you can include that. If your program doesn't have housing, then you would have to search your individual housing and provide that proof as well.
Students on GW Paris will receive a certificat de logement, which is literally just a certificate of housing. It will list the address of the GW Paris office. This is not where you will be living. This is often a point of confusion, but we'll have 60 students on GW Paris this spring semester. You cannot all live in the Paris office.
Proof of sufficient funds. So this is where students might have trouble getting their proof. The French government requires that students need to have at least 615 euros per month at their ending balance or bank statements to kind of show that you can sustain yourself abroad and you can provide for yourself. So the students can provide your own 3 most recent bank statements, making sure that you meet the balance of either 615 euros, convert that to whatever the rate is, roughly like 700-ish or more. So if your ending balance dips below that, then you might have to go through your parents' route, the dependent route. So they would have to provide additional documents guaranteeing that they are going to sponsor you for your French visa. They need to provide their bank statements that meet the minimum, copies of, of their ID, as well as like a notarized form saying they're going to be basically providing for you. The notarized form can be found on their website. I will try to upload it also in the box folder that we're going to share, so you're aware of that too. And don't worry, I broke it down. I created a guide, so at the end you can get more tidbits on what it is exactly that you need. Okay, so that was France visa. You cannot submit your France visa until you get the final review from Campus France, but you can open an application, so you can have that. France visa has their own number too, and you need that number to use it for booking an appointment with TLS Contact. So at this moment, maybe you don't have all the documents, but you can certainly try to create the applications and have them so you can have that number and start. So you're going to create an account with TLS Contact, schedule an appointment with them. You're going to pay the TLS Contact servicing fee. I helped a student over the summer. It was around $250. So that's for their service fee. And it went up as it got closer to the start of the program, or we got later. So just keep that in mind. It is going to be a fee that you have to pay to ensure you keep your appointment. Then you're going to attend the appointment, submit all your documents. So you're going to print your France visa application and all the documents you uploaded onto that website. You need hard copies, and you're submitting that with TLS too. It's a lot. And the France visa fee you're going to pay. So that's separate. So you're paying for Campus France, which is $260 if you do the 3 weeks, $460 if you need urgent 3 days. You're going to pay the TLS Contact booking fee, which is roughly $250, give or take, depending when you book your appointment. And you're going to pay the France visa fee, the actual processing of the visa, which on the website it says 99 euros. So convert that to whatever that is. So keep all those fees in mind. Let me show you. Did I have? Confirm. Okay, well, okay. This is how it looks. You're going to register and email, passwords, all the terms, and just register. And you'll get an email. Again, you'll have to authenticate or verify your email so you can create an application with them. It's pretty self-explanatory. Once you get in, you'll just kind of follow their formatting, but you will need your France visa number, so keep that in mind.
It's a good idea to go ahead and register for all of these kind of now. You have to do them in order. You have to register with Campus France to be able to register with France Visa. Once you register with France Visa, then you can register with TLS. The biggest obstacle that you will face, other than like the mountains of bureaucracy involved with this, is that TLS runs out of appointment spaces. So you probably want to make your appointment where you're just like projecting roughly where you're going to be. So if you're completing on October 1, you're completing Campus France. You know you're going to have everything back on the 21st of October. If everything else is ready for your Campus France, you could theoretically have an appointment that last week in October and submit everything then. But if you wait until November 15th and you're trying to book an appointment, you may see like literally there are no appointments until February. If that happens, it's fine to panic a little bit. That's a completely reasonable reaction. But once you've taken a few deep breaths, and maybe you've called the Office of Study Abroad, we will tell you then exactly what I'm going to tell you now, and that is that there are cancellations all the time. So if you just keep checking back multiple times a day, usually within 24 hours, you will find certainly within a couple of days. So while that may seem like exceptionally scary, and that's reasonable, I promise that it works out. We have never had a student not get to France because they couldn't get a visa appointment.
The cost, again, we mentioned it earlier, but on the screen, here are the fees. Campus France, again, 260 or 270. Again, check the website to see what their current rate is. 460 for the 3 business days. France Visa, 99 euros, whatever that is converted. And then TLS contact fees, roughly 250, give or take, depending when you book your appointment. These fees are always subject to change depending on the French government and the third-party TLS contact, so always check what the website has. Just another overview, kind of what Daniel said to do. We will share this. And then Campus France does provide like student visa application guides for Campus France and the France Visa website. We also added that to the folder so you can access that too, and it'll walk you through it. Important dates. Again, we will have more visa sessions, so please stop by. If you've already kind of started gathering your documents, you can come by and we can review them, or if you have any other questions, these would be the perfect opportunities for you to stop and ask us. Some dates to keep in mind. Again, it's relative to when you get your acceptance letter, but roughly have your Campus France submission, meaning completed and pay it between October 10th to November 10th, contingent when you receive your acceptance letter. If you receive it sooner, you can do that process even sooner, but you can't complete Campus France without your acceptance letter. So once you get that, it gets more of the ball rolling. So try to get the Campus France submission between October 10th to November 10th. We will have another full visa doc review drop-in on October 29th. And this is the TLS contact appointment, the date, rough date that we want you to already have an appointment with TLS by that day, to make sure that you are on track and there's no issues. Any questions on that?
Yeah. After the appointment, how long will it take before we have to do stuff?
So standard visa processing time is 4 weeks. We find that it gets faster as you get closer to the winter holidays. The French, people who are processing it in the French consulate want to go home. So, if you submit on November 14th, you will probably have it back by mid-December. If you submit it on like November 27th, you might also have it back by mid-December. But it does eventually run into a wall because at some point there will be visas they can't get to and they won't process until they're back until early January. So sometimes we have students who are getting their visas like January 2nd, January 3rd for departures that are almost immediate. So do try to stick at to that November 14th or earlier target date. And anybody who has questions who is online, I just want to remind you that Tanya and I cannot see the chat. If you can direct those to Kim Rush, that'd be great.
Okay, so questions, check out the PDF guides. I'll just go through this. You can check out the guides. We'll share them in the box folder. They have a lot of information there you can utilize for your application. Again, attend our Visa Day sessions. We're there for resources. You can contact Daniel or myself through email, or if you need more like assistant one-on-one, we do have visa guidance appointments with myself. And all these documents on the screen will be shared with you. Questions? Yes.
This is a pretty specific personal question. I know one of the steps you need a state ID or driver's license. Mine's going to be expired, and I don't know if when's that going to be an issue.
I wouldn't think so.
Okay, so I can still upload all the info until it'll expire.
Yeah, and if it has not yet expired, I would do it now.
Yeah. But I know you said for Campus France, there's like a 3-week Processing for France visa, does it take time to process, or is it just like complete the application, submit and print, and then you can immediately work with it?
Yeah, pretty much that's kind of quick. Maybe it'll take a day or two for the system, but it's just completing it and then printing that.
Yeah, they're not actually reviewing anything. It is just a place where they gather your documents, and the certification that you're getting is saying that you have everything that they've asked for in that packet to be able to go and do your application.
Yeah, basically what you're uploading also kind of generates your national visa form. So that's what's going to be generated, which you will need to submit to TLS.
These things could absolutely be combined. Like, let's be clear, Campus France and the French visa application, like registration, that could all be a single process. It just isn't. Sorry.
So we can make accounts for all three of the websites ahead of time, but we can't actually start the process until we have.
You can do most of the Campus France things except for the acceptance letter ahead of time. You can do a lot of the France visa portion as well, so that you can move really quickly through the process once you get that acceptance letter.
Okay, and we can't book the appointment until we got into it.
No, you actually can book your appointment. You could book it today. So if you create your France visa or your Campus France account, use that information. They will ask for it when you do your France visa application. Start that process. You will get a France visa registration number, even if you haven't completed it. And with that, you can then create your TLS account and make a visa appointment.
And if you said like a decision probably about it.
Yeah, it will vary by your program.
Okay.
So I can't speak to what the various provider programs timelines are, but they are all very aware of what the length of time visa, so they will be possible.
Okay, so would you recommend trying?
Yeah. Unfortunately, you cannot book like multiple appointments, so you can't book one like, like a speculative appointment for November 1, and then like if you have to cancel an appointment, then you're into the scramble, because by the time that appointment has come and gone, then like everybody's gonna be applying at the same time. So aiming for like mid-November is probably safest.
We've got some online messages too. Okay. Is the notarized form for the bank statement only if proof of dependency, otherwise not necessary to notarize?
Yeah, so only if the student doesn't have the adequate funds in their own personal bank statements, then you would go through the parents route, and that is one of the documents that needs to be filled out and notarized.
And where is the TLS contact office?
So there are multiple across the US. You can apply here through DC because you're a DC student, a GW student, or you can apply through your home jurisdiction. So whatever TLS branch covers that home jurisdiction, you can do that. When you are opening your application in TLS Contact, it will ask you which center you are planning to apply, and it'll kind of ask you for your zip code or anything, and you can locate it. So just be aware of that.
Generally, we suggest using the DC consulate if possible, just because if you, if you're going to apply through like the New York City consulate, that's like maybe a relatively easy option. But you still have to go in person to your appointment in, say, mid-November, and theoretically you're here in Washington, so that's a pain. I think only if you would be applying like during Thanksgiving break because you've already realized that you didn't make your appointments when you needed to, then you might be applying in your home jurisdiction, whether that's Miami or LA or Chicago or Boston.
And if you're an international student, can you still apply for the visa process from the US, or do you need to go to the embassy in your home country?
Generally, it is possible to apply with TLS here in the US. We have international students who do that kind of all the time. It is more complicated for students who are going to be studying abroad in the fall and they have that big summer break because they're in their home countries usually during that period. But for students who are going to be in DC up until winter break, applying here is usually the way to go.
Yeah, and we recommend you to apply through the US just because we're more familiar with what the process is here. If you do have to go back home and it's like outside the US, then it might be a totally different process. So we can't offer guidance through that, but tell us in the US.
If you happen to be an international student who holds an EU passport in the Schengen area, none of this applies to you, and you can just go to France and study. But I assume since you are here, that does not apply.
That is all of our online questions. Any more in-person ones?
I know that was a lot.
Okay, we do know that that was a lot. Thank you so much, everybody,
Yeah.
for coming